Sutra 83. Ityevam vadanti janjala panirbhaya ekam taha kumara vyasa shuka shandilya garga vishnu kaudinya sheshuddhavaruni bali hanumad vibhishananadayo bhakti acharyaha. Hence, all the teachers of devotion, such as Kumar, Vyasdev, Shukdev, Shandilya, Garg, Vishnu, Kaurinya, Shesh, Uddhav, Aruni, Bali, Hanuman, Vibhishan, and so forth, who are unafraid of others and their idle gossiping, deliver their undisputed opinion. To strengthen his opinion and highlight the significance of his teachings, Sage Narad refers to many other eminent teachers who are also practitioners of devotion. He resolutely declares the path of devotion to be the most supreme. Although there were subtle differences in the philosophy of each one of these teachers, their path was the same. Few wrote their own works, but many of the teachers became role models by their personal devotion. The Sanat Kumars were constantly engaged in chanting the holy name. To date, they are still known as princes among devotees. In the Purans, the author Vyasdev declared devotion to be the supreme path, and his principal Puran, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is the most ripe and nectarian fruit of devotion. From his lips, Shukdev spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam, which imparts the real bliss of devotion. Sage Shandilya has written devotional scriptures and established himself on this path. Sage Garg is the founder of astrology, but his widely known scripture, the Garga Samhita, established his firm belief and understanding of this path. In the Moksha Dharma section of the Mahabharata, Shanti Parv, one can read about Narayan, or Vishnu, an incarnation of Lord Krishna, who was a great pioneer on the path of devotion, and Vishnu was also Sage Narad's teacher. Kaurinya became illustrious because he attained perfection by absorbing himself in the Lord through the practice of meditation. Narayan rests on a bed made of coils of the multi-headed snake Anantashesh, or Shesh. The 11 cobra heads of Shesh protect the Lord's head. With his many mouths, Shesh is always engaged in chanting and glorifying the Lord. He incarnated as Lakshman, Lord Ram's brother, to propagate devotion by being an exemplary devotee himself. Uddhav was the most intimate friend of Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that upon Krishna's return to his eternal abode, he gave all the required knowledge of devotion and other subject matters to Uddhav, so that Uddhav could spread devotion in the world after the Lord's departure. Aruni, a great sage, who is mentioned in the Chandogya Upanishad 6.9.4, was a devotee of the Absolute, the unmanifested, formless Lord. King Bali practiced self-surrender to the Lord, and in return the Lord became the king's palace gatekeeper. Hence, Bali received an audience with the Lord every time he entered and exited his palace. Hanuman's devotion as a humble servant is exemplary all over the world. A most knowledgeable devotee, Hanuman constantly chanted Lord Ram's name and engaged his senses in hearing his beloved's glories. Being pleased with Vibhishan's devotion, the Lord became his dear friend. In this aphorism, Sage Narad used the words "and so forth." He only named a few distinguished teachers of devotion, but there were many more inspirational figures who created milestones on the supreme path. Even to date, the world is still a beneficiary of the finest exemplars of devotion.